Hello, and welcome into another edition of Unpopular Opinions. I'm Chuck Taylor, and I have on the phone with me co-host Taylor Lemsky. Taylor, say what's up.
What's going on, guys?
And we've been absent for a little while, but we're back in it, and we got some things we want to talk to you about today. Going to hit a lot on the NFL, Dallas Cowboys, particularly get around to a little bit of other issues going on in the NFL. And if we got time, we're going to hit up some Stars hockey. So, tell you what, I didn't get a chance to watch the Cowboys game personally today, but I looked at the box score a little bit. What you see? Anything in particular you want to point out and talk about?
Oh, it's actually, I wanted to take a step back, and I like the entrance music that you selected today. Little old school Tanner Shepard's coming in.
Oh yeah,
I like
man.
that song.
Yeah, you know it.
What is that song called?
It's called The Intro, or just Intro by the XX.
XX, like that. Good stuff, man. Yeah, well, so I watched the game, and it was pretty good. I think that if this game would have been played like in the first 5 weeks, we would have got a lot more credit than we did. The reason I say that is because I know Kansas City, they had a hot start. They were 5-0. They were, the NFL favorites for a while before the Eagles took over. But, I mean, we contained Kareem Hunt, which is great because Chase had him in fantasy. And so we got to put a little hold on him. That helped me out a lot. But, yeah, I mean, overall, defense looked good. We got Jeff Heath had a pick. I think it was 28-17 was the final.
Yep.
Of course, Zeke looked great, of course. And we'll see how long that lasts, man. I don't really know what's going to happen with all that stuff. I don't really think anybody does.
Man, I was surprised. The one thing that shocked me about this game was, like you said, the defense. I mean, 17 points to Kansas. You got Alex Smith, who's, been incredible this year. And then, obviously, Kareem Hunt,
weird.
Hill. I mean, how Travis Kelce. I mean, Kelce had 73 yards and a touchdown. But, I did not see us stopping Kansas City or holding them to 17 points. I mean, we were at home, but that blew my mind. When I saw the final score, I was like, 17 points.
To be honest with that, the Dallas home field advantage usually isn't there. I feel like as a team, we played better on the road. So, I mean, and I actually thought it was kind of funny. I don't know if this is true or not, but the way that the AT&T Stadium is built, I don't know if you saw this. I guess you didn't see it today, but any other games, the way that it's built, it looks like behind, I guess it would be the visiting end zone. We have all those glass windows. I guess it's like a Bud Light zone or Miller Light zone, whatever it is. And it lets in a shitload of sun. And it's kind of hard to see. So there was a catch that Bryce Butler dropped in the middle of the field. He turned back and looked right into the sun. I guess he couldn't corral the ball because it was a pretty easy pass to catch. I mean, I also say that sitting in the chair talking about football, not playing. But either way, I thought it was kind of weird to think about. Because, you know what, maybe they're trying to do that against them and kind of throw some obstacles in there. I don't really know.
Yeah, I've heard about that sun theory. I mean, I haven't actually seen a Cowboys game in AT&T Stadium yet. I've been inside the stadium. I've seen other stuff there. But, I don't know. I mean, it could be a thing, but then it's like, okay, is it always the road team going on that, to that side of the field? The Cowboys have to play with it too, so
Well, yeah, you can flip back and forth, of course.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how much I read into that as far as an advantage to the Cowboys, but I mean, yeah, it definitely can affect some plays. Yeah, I mean, solid all around. Terrence Williams, 141 yards receiving. That blew me away too. Yeah, 141.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's 14 points on fantasy if you picked him up, but doubt anyone did. He's such a...
Wait, has he had a receiving touchdown this year? I don't think he has.
I don't know for sure, but I can't think of a game that he has. And let me see here. No, he does not have a touchdown this year. No touchdowns. That's crazy.
What's kind of funny is this.
Go ahead. I was just going to say he's got 141 yards in this game, right? He has 216 for the year.
Yep, that sounds about right. And part of it. Well, I'm trying to think. I don't know exactly when he got those yards because I know that Dez was taken out in the end of the game with a sprained ankle, which I'm sure he's fine. Actually, before I forget, let me take a step back real quick. So you're talking about, how the Cowboys defense was surprising you and how well they've been doing lately. What I wanted to point out, which is this is crazy, kind of not about the Cowboys. Well, about the Cowboys, but not. Anyways, Denver got blown out. And I don't know if you remember this or if you watched this game or not, but when the Cowboys went into Denver, Zeke had 9 rushes for 8 yards and got completely shut down and made Trevor Siemian look like Brett Favre.
Yep. Yeah, they did.
What happened? Like, is that a Denver collapse? Is that a Cowboys? Like, that blew my mind. I've seen Denver just kind of limping along, and even their defense is not great. I mean, I think in fantasy they're ranked like mid-pack somewhere.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, Denver, like, they were a top-tier defense last year, obviously, and they're still a really good defense. They have quite a bit of takeaways. And, like, you look at through the year, the most points they've given up I'm looking at here has been 29 to Kansas City. So, they give it 26 to Buffalo. But besides that, it's been like 23 or less. So they haven't gotten rocked yet. And I think it's just I think part of it is that, yes, Denver's not as good as last year, but I think even more of it is just praise to Philadelphia. I mean, holy crap. Like, the Eagles, we can say that they're legit now, right? I mean, the Eagles are legit. They're going to win this division. They're going to win this division, and I think they go at least 2 rounds deep in the playoffs. I don't know if they're Super Bowl legit, but the Eagles they're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, I just think there's a few teams that would beat the Eagles straight up. Seattle, I think, would beat the Eagles. I didn't really like the game they played today, but I think that they're a better all-around team. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to really argue against that point, especially when the Eagles are blowing teams out like this. I mean, dropping, 51 on Denver today? I don't remember exactly the score. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue it. They've got Carson Wentz, who's a stud. They just picked up Jay Ajayi, which that was actually kind of cool to see him get his first rushing touchdown. Not a fan of playing for the Eagles. Eagles are my least favorite team, so maybe I'm a little biased with this conversation. But, I mean, they definitely got some good parts. Their wide receiver core is, they're okay. I kind of thought about the running game before Jay Ajayi has been okay. Jay kind of gives it a better edge, but it's mainly Carson Wentz making plays, and the defense is pretty good. But, again, I think there are some teams in the NFC, especially the AFC, that could probably take them out. I see them making playoffs for sure, obviously this division. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't see them really even winning the NFC.
Yeah, it might be a little bit too early to tell. You said Seattle. Well, they play Seattle week 13 in Seattle. So I think looking at the rest of their schedule, that's probably their toughest game left, besides maybe if you want to say Dallas now. They have Dallas obviously 2 more times. They haven't played them yet. And then they have Seattle on the road, and then they've got Oakland at home. But besides that, a pretty weak schedule to round out the year for Philly. But that Seattle game is going to tell us a lot. If they go into Seattle and they embarrass them like they embarrassed Denver, I don't really need any more proof. I mean, with Green Bay losing Aaron Rodgers, like, who else is going to step up? I mean, I guess the Cowboys, but I don't think they've made a big enough statement yet.
No, and I definitely agree. Dak looked great today, and the Chiefs are good. But, again, I think the Chiefs are 6-3, and I think I'm pretty sure they started out 5-0. So, I mean, they've definitely hit a slump there. Oh, and I think Alex Smith threw his first pick today.
He did throw a pick. Is that his first pick? I'm not sure.
I think that might be his first pick of the season to Jeff Heath, the safety/backup kicker.
Oh, wow. Yeah, backup kicker. Yeah, I did see that. When he came in for Dan Bailey, I was pretty shocked. How do we not have a backup kicker? Is that not a thing? I didn't know that. Do NFL teams not have a backup kicker?
I don't think so. And, thinking about it, why would you need a backup kicker? Obviously that rare circumstance where I don't know what Dan Bailey did to his groin, but I mean, it's not like kickers are getting lit up all the time.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. But I
just
don't know.
wasting roster space.
You feel like wouldn't the punter
maybe
be the backup kicker though? Like,
Chris Jones? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't know. I was expecting to see Chris Jones come out and kick, and then they said Jeff Heath, which blew my mind. And then he pinned him down like behind the 15.
Yeah, he did a good
kickoff.
job. He did, yeah.
I was impressed. And then I think, have you seen Pat McAfee do those shows? Or I guess he's not like a podcast or something like that online.
For Barstool?
I guess it. Yeah. I think
Barstool
he's a former Colts punter, right?
Yeah.
I think that's who it was. Yeah. Watching his shit is hilarious, man. He's always talking about all kinds of stuff, kickers and whatnot, but he's pointing out with Jeff Heath. It was like, holy crap, like, look at this man's biceps in the perfect form, and just, like, giving him all kinds of praise. It was funny.
I think I did see that video. Yeah, I mean,
it's cool.
Jeff Heath, like, he did a good job, like you said, but I don't know. Maybe that never clicked in my head. I would have thought Chris Jones, punter, kicker, I mean, I know they're different, but I don't know. That just didn't make any sense to me.
Man, for me, like, I think because we had to leave partially, which made it a little bit more fun to watch, but that was almost the same as watching, like, David Murphy or Mitch Moreland pitch during a game. Like, I don't know, that's always exciting to see. You see people that aren't playing those positions come in and do well. I'm like, all right, nice.
Yeah, baseball, that's always a bad sign, but, I mean, I guess it's a bad sign in football, too, but it is cool to see, for sure. It definitely is.
Oh, yeah, we were getting, I'm pretty sure it was like 20-2 in that game or something ridiculous.
Well, one more thing before we move on from football, maybe a couple things, but one thing in particular. Can you tell the folks at home how or exactly what you are doing, like how you are infiltrating the NFL and getting Zeke unsuspended week after week to provide your fantasy team with the points needed to get a win each week? Because it's getting ridiculous, and I want to know who your contacts are.
Listen, man, it's all about persistency at this point. I get on my app and I keep seeing the suspended tag. Mini Jerry World, as I like to call it, is sitting in Frisco, Texas, across from my job. So on lunch breaks, I'll just go over there and talk logistics, call a few lawyers, and we just make it happen. We just got a great group of guys up there, and hoping to make it the rest of the season this way.
Is he okay? In all seriousness, is he getting suspended this year? Do you think? Is he in what week?
Man, all right. So we had this conversation, I think, at the beginning of the season, and I was 100% confident that he was going to play the entire season and not see the suspension until next year. Because I'm trying to think about the Deflategate with Tom Brady and the things that happened there. And he was able to push that suspension back. But there's a few different things, and I think Jerry Jones said this as well, but the Ray Rice case where he clearly, I'm pretty sure he knocked his girlfriend, fiance, whoever it is, out in his elevator. They had video footage of it. They botched that suspension. I think he ended up serving 2 games. Now, the details of this dude's case are a little bit more murky, and he was never convicted or anything like that. And honestly, I think it's crap based off of what I've read. But again, huge Dallas fan, so again, maybe biased, who knows. And I know that they're pushing really hard on it. I mean, they're moving court dates up. They're trying everything they can. So this last emergency appeal spared him for this game. But, it's going to be hard for me to see him playing after this game. I think the 6 games would start next week. And, not great for me in fantasy, but, I mean, I've got a great – I'm thinking in first place now, actually. I think I took care of Chase. Because Kareem didn't do anything, so that was nice. So I might need that cushion when Zeke sits at this point. But, yeah, it'll be good for the Cowboys overall, when playoffs roll around, and we actually need him outside of our fantasy snack talk here.
Yeah, I don't know. ever since 2015 when DeMarco got hurt or traded, whatever it was. When was the year, if you remember, where Darren McFadden started? Was that 2014? Or no, 2014 was Murray. What year was the year where McFadden got 1,000 yards? Do you remember?
I feel like it was 2015.
I think it was. So I'm a big believer in this offensive line. So, like, everyone keeps throwing around, like, oh, Zeke's going to, the Cowboys, the Cowboys are going to go, down the pipes when Zeke gets suspended. I'm a big believer in, hey, Alfred Morris was a starting running back for Washington for several years and was a good running back. Darren McFadden was a pretty decent running back in Oakland and wherever he was before that, and he was a great college running back. McFadden already proved that you can have a 1,000-yard rusher behind this offensive line. That's a slightly different offensive line, but essentially it's the same line. I think the Cowboys are going to be fine. Now they're 5-3 right now. I think they get at least 9 or 10 wins without Zeke. I think they can do. I think that's conceivable, especially after they beat the Chiefs, which is one of the toughest games left on their schedule. Like, is Zeke going to make them better? Absolutely. But I think they can get it done without Zeke. I think they'll be fine, especially with the tandem of McFadden and Alfred Morris. And then you also have Rod Smith, who's, an up-and-coming rookie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Dude, I think Rod Smith's going to be great. So he just didn't have that experience. And then you got to think about McFadden. He's 30. Alfred Morris is 28. I don't know if you'd want to call them out of their prime, but, I mean, pretty close. Obviously, the 2015 1,000-yard rushing attack for him back then, but, I mean, he's been inactive every single game this year, and so you got to think about how much rust he has. And then Alfred Morris, I mean, he's still – I don't know. But then you got to think, you get the trio, running back by committee maybe, or whoever's with the hot hand. Like, who do you think is going to start? Who do you think is going to take over if Zeke's gone?
I think it's going to be by committee. Just short answer. I think it's going to be give and take with whoever has the hot hand. I think they're going to split time pretty evenly. What I've heard is, what I will say one thing, I've heard that McFadden is more of a receiving back, so I think they might throw in a more passing packages with McFadden. But besides that, I think it'll be fairly even.
Yeah, because I know that Morris will get the start. At least is what they're saying, but it's hard to understand what's going to go on. But I know that they'll get a significant amount of carries because we do have a decent offensive line. It's not the same as last year. It's still very good. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to pick up the pieces of fantasy, especially for the team that I had Zeke on, filling that backfield. But again, we don't have a dominant back like that as your backup. It's going to be hard to figure out, who's going to have the hot hand at that point, who to play.
Hey, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and you can take your fantasy woes and you can take them somewhere else because I cannot listen to anyone else's fantasy woes with the crap I've had to deal with all year long. This is getting I'm so close to quitting fantasy football at least for the year. I'll come back next year.
All right.
I'm so close.
Well, I might just have turned out a little bit better than you as far as record goes, but you're still in it. You're 500, right now. Okay. Well, I had Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers breaks his collarbone. I'm like, you know what? There's Carson Palmer, another stud, throw him in there, and he breaks his arm. That's back-to-back 2 weeks, 0 points in the quarterback spot. So that was super fun.
Yeah, that's true. Other people have had more injuries than me. I haven't had that much bad luck with injuries. What I've had bad luck with is consistently being projected to score more than 90 points, and they come out here and give me 60 to 70. It is just insane how underperforming my team is. You realize, and I mean, the folks aren't in our fantasy league, but real quick, you realize that Jason is about to beat me with Leonard Fournette completely not playing, right? Right before kickoff, he was taken out of the lineup by his coach for missing team practices and team meetings. So he's down his best player, and he's still about to beat me.
He didn't have a running back in either, does he?
No, he didn't fill the spot. That's how insane
yeah, that's what we should probably include.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking that up right now. Hold on, I gotta see this. What is this on the?
That's how ridiculous this is getting. I mean, I still have a shot. I still have a shot, but it's looking bleak.
Oh, yeah, let's see. Oh, you're Marvin Jones Jr. Yeah, man. Okay, well, side note, next year, we need to make this PPR, okay?
We are. Yeah, we are.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually crazy. And it's kind of funny that this is the only time this has ever worked out where Jason plays Jason Witten and Cole Beasley as a tight end and a receiver. And I guess Jason Witten didn't do anything, but Cole Beasley usually doesn't catch anything either. He had 2 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, 24 yards, 2 touchdowns. 24 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, whoever plays me, it doesn't matter who you start, they're going to play amazing.
It's not in the cards for you this year, man. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, no, that's okay. There's always next year.
But then again, I mean, you're in 3rd place, right?
Yeah, tied. I'm about to be in 4th. I'm about to be in 4th if I lose to Jason, but we'll see.
Let's just say at least you're not Hector.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
I don't know if he wants his dirt on the air, but me and Hector are in 3 leagues, and we're in all 3 leagues together. Come week 4, he was 0-4 in all 3 leagues. He was 0-12 consecutively for the math purposes. Yeah, crazy.
Wow. Poor Hector.
I ripped ass, and then come to find out, I'm looking at my team, and he won like 3 weeks in a row, and now he's ahead of me. So I don't really have a whole lot of room.
Oh man. Well, I don't feel that bad for Hector. He went to the championship last year, but
yeah, whatever. Forget Hector. All good. Maybe I'll make it this year.
Yeah, it's looking like it. I don't know. Chase is going to be tough, but I don't know. It's going to be competitive in that division. But real quick, before we leave the NFL, we'll talk a little Stars before we get out here because that's a bright note in DFW sports, unlike the Mavs. But before we leave the NFL, I don't know how deep you want to get into this. I just want to give you the floor, and I'll say my 2 cents about it. I just wanted to ask you if there was anything that you wanted to say specifically on the controversial kneeling during the national anthem. If there's anything you've been dying to say or any overview you want to give on it, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Man, I think it's stupid, but here's what I think's stupid. That Sunday football has turned into, oh my God, he's going to stand, he's going to sit, crap like that. It's like a reality TV show. But here's what my take is on it. I think it's disrespectful to kneel for the anthem, right? There's a lot of, armed forces that serve us day in and day out. And I mean, I'm thankful for my freedom and the people that serve for us. So I would never kneel for the anthem. But I don't have a problem with the kneeling before. And they're still getting booed for that, which I don't understand because they're standing for the anthem. I think it was the Saints that did it last. They kneeled in a sign of unity, which I'm all about, especially for, the injustices and everything that's been going on. And I understand it's a peaceful protest. That's fine. And they're standing for the anthem. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, I hate that football has become a reality TV show more than anything. That's my only problem with that.
Yeah, that's true. It is. It's changing the culture a lot. It really is getting kind of ridiculous.
Oh, and it's ruining Papa John's sales. Did you hear that?
I didn't really. I saw something about it. I don't know what is that all about.
Papa John, Mr. Papa John, is just complaining that he's not selling enough pizza because everyone's taking the knee.
How is that affecting his pizza sales?
That's a good question. I don't know. Honestly, I read the headline and I was like, that's ridiculous, and then they're done.
You didn't read the story? You just read the headline and thought that was enough to bring it on
I feel
the
like
podcast?
the headline is enough to really find out that it's like,
apparently it's not, because now everyone's on their heels wanting to know why Papa John's losing money, and you don't have anything for them.
Hey, pull up that iPhone, type in Papa John's football, you'll find a lot, tell you what. But I did realize that, I think it was overnight, because, Papa John's is a publicly traded company, but he lost like $70 million in net worth overnight based off his comments about pizza sales.
Jeez.
So, I mean, yeah.
So what you're saying
Good job,
is,
Papa.
So what you're saying is, Papa John doesn't kneel.
Yeah, Papa John's is the guy that stands on his 2 feet. He don't deal. So we head on down to Domino's.
Hey, you heard it here, folks. First, Papa John's does not kneel. If you want a non-kneeling pizza, go to Papa John's.
Hey, I love the Papa John's pizza, man. So I'll still be around. But yeah, wow, way to really shoot yourself in the foot with that. Like, maybe think about that comment before you say it and lose $70 million. So
that's quite a hit. I don't know. So, real briefly, I'll throw in my 2 cents. First of all, I'm completely 100% behind their freedom to kneel during the national anthem. That's completely within their right. It's peaceful protest.
Yeah,
and I also don't really agree in most cases, maybe not every case, but most cases I don't agree with the argument that they're disrespecting the military, because most of the people have come out and clearly debunked that. They said, look, we're not trying. This is not about the military. This is not anything about who protects our freedom. And then, so, some people still think that that's disrespectful, and that's fine. But I don't necessarily agree with that. The one thing that does irk me about it is that, especially Colin Kaepernick, who started all of this, Colin Kaepernick had a real chance to elicit change and do something about what he was thinking, what he thought he was getting wronged on. And instead of do that, he took a knee, he got all these people riled up and excited, and then he did nothing. He just took a knee, and he took a knee week after week, and that's all that people are doing now, because they watched Colin Kaepernick and they thought that he did something. But he didn't. All he did was get people talking and get people, frankly, pissed off, because half the population is pissed off at the people kneeling, and the other half are for their peaceful protest, or actually, partaking in it by, these rallies and stuff like that. But nothing's really happening. It's just pissing people off. And I think to elicit change, you have to take action. You have to go out in the community. You have to talk with certain members of city government or the police forces, and take to the streets and actually do something, instead of being a millionaire who kneels in the national anthem during live TV and confuse that with taking action. That's what I see from my seat.
Yeah, well, I think the whole point of that was to, grab national attention, and which it did. When we're sitting here, how long ago was Kaepernick playing? It feels like forever. But we're still talking about it. So, I feel like the reasoning behind it really kept the momentum of it, why people were like, oh, why are you getting mad at people kneeling and disrespecting the flag? Oh, we're doing this for, equal rights, equal opportunity, stuff like that, which I feel like it did its job in that point. I know that when they take a knee during the anthem, it's not in, protest to the flag. I think it's just a protest to how, the norms are in the country with certain things, and that's their feelings on it. But I just think that standing for the flag, your hand over your heart, that's just respect to your country. And I know it's something that they're intentionally doing, but I think that that's a part where you should all stand in unity. I don't know. So like I said, I don't have a problem with the thing before, kneeling before, showing unity that way. Obviously, getting your point across the same way, but who knows? I'm hoping that it fizzes out, and we can just love each other for who everyone is. People are people, and everything starts turning around, and we can get back to football.
Yeah, that's true, and I think it has, and I think it will. I think it's moved in that direction. I think we're headed the right way. I just think, at some point we need to stop kneeling and confusing that for actual action taken. So,
progress.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Anyways, well, let's move into our final topic, and this is a bright spot in DFW sports. The Dallas Stars, if you haven't heard, they're back after a pretty dismal season last year, filled with injuries. Sagan was out for a lot of the year. Cody Eakin was out for extended period of time. So the Stars are back, but I don't think they've gotten off to the hottest start that people think they could have. But they're starting to find their rhythm. Did you watch Saturday's game against Buffalo? Did you get to catch any of that, or have you got to catch any games?
So I didn't catch the game against Buffalo. Me and Taylor were actually about to go to that game. We just kind of got back a little late and missed it, which I'm really upset that we did, because I'm pretty sure that it was, what was it, 5-1 that we finished?
5-1, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I didn't watch that one, but I watched the game right before that. And what I loved is I can't remember who it was on the boards, is Yanmark or who, but one of the Stars defenders or wings was getting kind of pinned up in the boards coming after the puck, and the guy was why can't I think of the name? Anyways, they were getting all after him, right? And it was kind of treating him bad, having the wall, kind of doing some dirty shots, and then you see Jamie Benn come up from all across the ice and just lay him into the glass, and then he ends up grabbing his pads and is like, "We're doing this," and he just goes toe to toe with this dude, just changing punches. But the cool thing about it was, like, that's the captain for me, like, for hockey. Of course, fighting is fun. Like, that's what you love watching hockey. You can see fights and everything happen. But have your boys back no matter what. And as your captain, you're going to take that guy out. I don't know. I had a lot of respect for that. I thought that was really cool to see.
Yeah, I love Jamie Benn's a top competitor. I mean, he's a really cool guy. He's big on Dallas. Sagan Ben duo. They're awesome, and I hope I know Ben is. I hope Sagan is here to stay for. He's already been here for several years, but I hope he's in it for the long haul, just like Jamie Benn, because they're a super exciting duo to watch. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest difference for me watching this team is obviously the special teams. Our power play and our penalty kill I think our power play is still the top in the league. Our penalty kill is top 5 in the league. I mean, that was such a huge
big upgrade
thing for last year. Oh yeah. Yeah, our penalty kill was, I think, last or next to last in the league last year. I mean, just horrible. And you can say what you want about the defenders. We've had a lot of stupid neutral zone interceptions and stupid giveaways that has cost us a lot of goals. But yeah, when the penalty's on and we're down a man, we're locked in and we're really killing those penalty minutes. So that's good to see.
Yeah. And power play, taking advantage of the power play, because I know that we last year were terrible at that as well. It feels like we had so many power play advantages, at least in the games that I was watching, and it just seemed like it was still 5-on-5. It didn't seem like nothing changed. It was weird, but yeah, it's good to see them kind of getting back to form and coming back. And in that same game, I think it was Winnipeg who they were playing.
2 games ago, yeah.
I think it might have been. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it was that Jamie Benn fight. And before that, I don't know, one of the guys from Winnipeg slid into the net. Like, I guess it was a missed shot, and there was going to be a face-off. And Ben Bishop, the goalie, even came after one guy. Like, I mean, I don't know if the guy meant to hit him or even bump into him or really even hit him at all. He got close to Ben, and Ben threw a punch and started coming after him. I don't know. I like the physicality of the Stars, and again, it makes it fun to watch. But my favorite star, who's been my favorite star for a while, I guess. Well, Jamie Benn and Sagan got they're up there. But Darian Hatcher, he was a legend.
Throwing it back.
I loved watching that guy play hockey. Goon to the max. It was so much fun.
Darian Hatcher was a legend. Yeah, every single, I don't remember. It's almost like Antoine Roussel now. I don't remember a game where Darian Hatcher didn't get in a fight.
Yep, that was the best part about it, man. He was aggressive, and it's what I like to see that because I feel like that kind of sets the tone. It can get the boys on the bench fired up, and I think it does a lot of good things for the hockey team. And hockey,
yeah, it does. It makes it exciting, and yeah, it's really cool to see. But yeah, the biggest change for the Stars is special teams. You know, obviously with the coaching change with Hitchcock, and I think the additions of Radulov, Ben Bishop has been huge. People like that. Who is it? Mathot on the defense. We really made some big off-season moves, and I mean, look for the Stars to be very competitive in the end. I think they'll go. I think they'll be closer to the 15-16 team where they went to the Western Conference Finals. Although I think this team is a little more complete with a little bit better defense and not so offensive heavy. So yeah, I really like the Stars, man. This is a fun team to watch. They score a lot of goals. They do get some goals scored against them, but yeah, they're a fun, fast, physical team.
I agree with you on that.
Before we go, I got one question because I got in an argument. I get in a lot of arguments, but I got in an argument a couple weeks ago.
Doesn't surprise me.
I got in an argument a couple weeks ago with my brother, and we were talking about. I was watching a Mavs game, and I got emotional because it was one of the first Mavs games, and they were talking about Dirk, and they were, hyping him up, showing his big moments and stuff like that. And I said, here are my top DFW sports stars in order, my top 5. And my top 5 were Dirk, I believe Mike Modano, Pudge Rodriguez, Jason Witten, and Michael Young, in that order. And we got to talking, and I said, look, I can move a few people around. I think Dirk is my number 1. I think Mo is my number 2. And I'd probably have Pudge as number 3, but I can move, Witten and Young, and, you can move some people in and out. And my brother shared his, and he didn't have Mike Modano's top 5. And he was under the impression, he was arguing that Mike Modano doesn't matter in DFW sports. Not that many people even know who Mike Modano is. He said that, and that really lit a fire because I've been a Stars fan for a long time, and Mike Modano is an iconic DFW. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but Mike Modano is an iconic DFW figure. What do you think?
Does that even need to be confirmed? I think that Kelsey Taylor should not be commenting on any of this stuff. By the way, it sounds like your sister's name, but. Whatever. I think that he needs to just reevaluate. I'm actually curious. Do you know his top 5? Did he tell you?
From what I remember, his top 5 were Dirk, I think Michael Young. I'm not sure about the rest of the order, but I know Pudge was in there. I think Witten might have been in there, but I don't think so. I think it was another Cowboy. Or no, it was another Ranger. It wasn't Nolan Ryan, but it was somebody else. I can't remember. And then he had Michael Irvin in there. Michael Irvin was number 4 for him. I do remember that.
What's surprising to me is why neither of y'all have Emmitt Smith on there.
I had Emmitt Smith in my honorable mention. I mean, he's definitely up there. I don't know. There's so many great Cowboys. And I had Jason Witten in there because he's a Hall of Famer and he's been there so long. And I don't know. That's one of the few people I think about. I didn't put Romo in there because he's probably not a future Hall of Famer. And there was just highs and lows with Romo, but Witten could be taken out. I had Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith as an honorable mention. I wouldn't be opposed to putting one of those in my top 5 instead of Witten, but.
I think unanimously, though, that we can say, Dirk has to be number 1 on everybody's list.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Let's just say, let's maybe skip DFW talk with your brother. Here he goes to Penn State, actually.
Online.
Maybe you can talk about, maybe you can talk about Pennsylvania sports. Yeah, so, man, I don't know. I definitely would have Dirk up there. And, yeah, there's been a lot of Dallas greats. It's really hard to kind of measure them out. Of course, Pudge, legend. I had Pudge up there, number 2. Wait, who's your number 2? You say
my number 2
Mo?
was Mo. Yeah, Madonna.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. You got to think about that, too. I mean, he helped carry that Stars team in 99 to the Stanley Cup, so he's got to be in there. So I'd probably have Dirk, Madonna. Man, I really want to throw Emmett in there. I love me some Emmett Smith. And then Pudge. And, Michael Young. I have Michael Young in there as well.
So that
there's been a lot of Dallas greats.
So you'd have Dirk. So in order, you'd have Dirk, Mo, Emmett, Pudge, Michael Young. Is that right?
No, in order, I'd probably do Dirk, Pudge, Mo. Probably do Emmett fifth.
Emmett and then
yeah.
So Michael Young then Emmett. Michael Young then.
Yeah,
okay.
I can do that.
Huh. Yeah, it's tough, but I love that discussion, and I love having that argument because it changes, but I don't know. We would not have hockey in Dallas still if it wasn't for Mike Madonna, and you can bet that you wouldn't. He saved hockey in this town. He made hockey a thing. Stars have one of the greatest followings in DFW, some of the most loyal fans, and it's all because of Mel. Greatest American hockey player to ever do it.
I loved it, man. I agree to that. You had Mo, and then I think we had Brett Hull on his wing before he went to the Red Wings.
Mm-hmm.
You had, was it Ed Balfour, and then Marty Turco was afterwards. Yeah, we've had like a line of good players that played for us here in Dallas, and man, I'm kind of upset I didn't appreciate hockey more growing up. I was really centered around baseball because I played it in football, but of course, anytime I went to a Stars game, man, it's just always fun to be around, and love the atmosphere there, and hopefully we're going to catch one this week. So we'll see. Hopefully we keep this momentum up.
Yeah. Well, look for that. But all right, well, man, we are just about out of time. Is there? I'll ask you got any last comments, any last predictions, any last ideas, or shots at Kelsey, or anything you want to say?
You know what? If there was shots at Kelsey, we'd be talking for a lot longer. I could go all day. But no, we'll keep it civil. I think that I just wanted to mention that the Cowboys and the Eagles, when they play here shortly, Cowboys take that game.
Cowboys, you heard it? So you're saying in Dallas?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think that we do it pretty easily. I don't know. That's my prediction on it.
Ooh, easily, huh?
Yep.
All right.
I've got faith. Okay, this is pending a healthy Des Bryant with a sprained ankle, because I think that
he did go down.
Des hasn't been the receiver that he's been like in 2014, but that's a big attraction as far as your star cornerback for the Eagles defense. To kind of be attracted to Des, pulls that coverage back a little bit more. They have to respect him from what he's done, not necessarily what he's doing right now.
Yep, exactly. And I think Dak's been a little more keen to seeing him on the field lately. So, yeah, he definitely opens things up for that offense.
Yep, agreed. So that's my prediction on that one right there.
All right. Well, there's Taylor's hot take. Guys, we're going to get out of here, but we've enjoyed it. And this is Unpopular Opinion. Stick around for more episodes.
Catch you next week.
See you guys.